Hey folks, welcome back to Golden Sun, and in today's episode, we begin what I like to call really one of the hardest points at this point in the game. It's not like battle challenging or anything like that. It's honest to God not hard, but this is probably going to be the longest video, one of the longest videos in the series. Because I just didn't want to sit here and split this area up, because it's a big area. The area I'm referring to is, of course, Kolima Forest, which is kind of the first real major dungeon of the game. As you see, there's a bunch of enemies around. There's some log pushing puzzles that you get to do. And that's really about it. It's just a big area. And if you don't... It's blocked, certain areas are blocked by stumps, so you will have to kind of figure out a route. And if you're doing this like I am, this is going to be this is not going to be the last time you come back here. I'm kind of doing this out of sequence, or it's actually in sequence, but it's out of sequence because you need to come back later on anyway. Yeah, that made no sense to me either, so I'll stop talking about that. Anyway, today we are, like I said, tackling Gameboy Forest. And there's nothing real importance in this forest. There's a treasure chest I'm going to point out a bit later that has a really beneficial piece of equipment that you will want to use at this point in the game, I think. Yeah, I'm going to start editing out the random encounters after this point. So, let me get right on that real quick. Alright, so yes, after this battle, most of the random encounters are edited out for the sake of convenience. 25 minutes edited down to 18. Holy crap. So, yes, we have reached episode 10 of Golden Sun, which means there's no backing out now. Oh, no, that's a lie. As soon as we reach the next point in the series, there's no backing out. The big plot-related device is coming up in the next 5 episodes, so I'm so excited. It's actually one of my favorite points in the game. But we'll cover that at a more convenient moment. As you can see, hanging from that tree, there is a orange nut, which if you remember that you were given the catch synergy, which you should have remembered. We kind of covered it once. It's very finicky synergy, but you can use that to catch the nut. More random encounters, time to heal a few people. You get a very good amount of experience in this area because the monsters are relatively higher leveled. So it gives you some semblance of a challenge, I guess. But over here we actually have a log pushing puzzle that kind of tests your ability to think. Like to understand that you need to get the log on the right into the water. It's not always it's not a big point the first time. Like you kind of start pushing logs and you can get carried away. But and again, there's harder puzzles, especially coming up, and this is not one of them. But heck, if it isn't a challenge, if this is the first time playing, or if you're playing along, hey, challenge solved right there. Now this, though, this flooded area, it says do not touch the floodgate switch, so naturally you just want to touch it. And this lets loose a cascade of water so that you can get down there and kind of play around with some logs. Now that is a treasure chest up there that you are going to want to get at this point in the game. And I'm going to show you how to get it before I show you how to get, how to continue and progress. It's very simple. Just move this log up, move this log up, and then take the log all the way on the left, move it to the right, and then move this log over so that you can catch the top right log as it comes down. And the top left log doesn't really, or the, yeah, top left log doesn't, no, it kind of matters right now. So what you need to do is push that log back, push the bottom right log back to the left, and then push the top left log down. Now, it really doesn't look like there's enough space to get you to where you need to go, but once, I've always, Gesundheit to me. Once you flip the switch, the water kind of fixes it for you. Which is really weird mechanic, but it makes it easier than hurting yourself over it, I guess. Not hurting yourself, but just spending so much time that you forget what you're really here for. If that made any sense. But your reward for that is the fur coat equip item. And this fur coat gives you a bonus to your defense, and it resists the water element. So what we're going to do is, I think we're going to give it to Ivan because his defense is so bad. You see how great that would be. Garrett's already ridiculously slow, so that's why I decided to give it to him. Because he's kind of a tank. So he's going to be the slowest one out of all of us. So we're going to flip the switch and reset the puzzle. Well, not reset the puzzle. Put the puzzle back the way it was. And we're gonna solve this. Which it's a simple solve of push both up, bring the log on the left back to the right, and push down. You really only need to push the top left down because the top right was used mostly for getting the fur coat. And as you see, the log is lined up with the gap in the tree stumps. So, pretty much says we're set to go. Now run back over, and we can jump our way. Excuse me. We can jump our way across. Excuse me. We can jump our way across to the next side. Push this log if you want to get out. But, heading up further, and we meet a tree. The woman's face. And apparently we're too late to rescue Tret. And after a brief encounter, we are going to see if she's absolutely right. Oh, that's also bad. So we should definitely not try mind reading this guy. It's like the same thing. So kind of what's going on right now is there's a Tret is the main tree, and there's like an evil him, or an evil, like his darkness inside him is controlling him, or some crazy mumbo jumbo like that. And it's up to us to do something about it, even though we weren't really told to. It's kind of implied that it's our job. And here I get confused with the directions. And the kind of gimmick of this little dungeon in the dungeon is that there's an outside area of Tret where his limbs are, and you can't see anything unless it's in your area. So you have to walk around and see what there is to see, do what there is to do. And here's the second little gimmick. The way to get around is by jumping on these leaves on the spiderwebs, but once you jump on one, they kind of disintegrate so that you can jump back, but if you jump on them a second time, they will break and you will go crashing through the floor like I did. So pick your path carefully. There are two instances where that comes in handy though. I'll point both of them out, of course. No treasure chest up there, none down here. There's only really two, I think, two items that are worth actually spending the time to search for. Up here is one of them. There, you can't jump on that spider, but if you jump up, you can get to a synergy stone, and if you take a left here instead of going up, you get the healing ring, which you can use in battle and restore some HP with it. And it has the potential to break when used in a battle, and that's where, if you remember the at the blacksmith or the armor shop, you have the ability to repair items. That's what that is used for. So anyway, let's make our way back up, and this time instead of going to the left to get the item, which we already have, we can go up, and there's nothing south. Sometimes it's helpful to check everything. I like to, because I know I'm going to forget something. But yes, climb this vine, and we can progress to the next floor. Not really much puzzle on this floor. There's just 2 doors you get to choose from. And a few vines to climb. This one, I believe, is... Yes, this is the special door because you get to fight a Jupiter Djinn. This one is a lot stronger than any of the other Djinn you've had to fight so far. So, play it safe. Isaac's attacks are going to be the best here because the opposite of the Jupiter Djinn is Venus element. So, Isaac's attacks are going to be wonderful here. Earthquake is really great. Flint, the Djinn, is going to be really good to use here. Anything, basically, just pound away at it, because this thing's got a chunk of HP. Like, oh, and it also can run. Like right now, I think I've done at least 80 damage. That's 100-ish. It's more than I have, kind of. So, yeah, you really want to hit this thing with everything you've got. Use summons on it like I did, and it will fall eventually into combat and become yours. So, we are 2 for 2 on the Jupiter Djinn front. And with that, Ivan becomes a magician class and learns the spell Impact. Really nice. So we're 2 Venus, 1 Mars, and 2 Jupiter, which, don't worry, Garrett will be getting a Djinn very, very soon. Inside this chest, we have another nut. And here's where things kind of went south. Ivan died in that last encounter. This is why you should have... This is why I feel really bad about not getting the item from the mayor of the town of Vault. It would have essentially brought Ivan back to life. It's Water of Life, and it revives a downed character outside of combat. So it would have been great to have here, but sadly the only way to revive Ivan at this point is to leave the area, go to a healer, and pay to have him revived. And we're just so close to the end of the dungeon at this point that I feel bad he's going to miss out on the experience. But anyway, here's the last of the leaf jumping puzzles. You can see as we've gone up the floors, there has been a little circular thing in the middle, and the point of it is to fall down through. First floor, basement. Now, what is there that could be down here? I would say find out in the next episode, but I'm going to make you find out in this episode. So yes, Ivan is still dead. We have no way to get him back. Might as well just heal up these 2 while I can. Now, what I've neglected to do is realize that if I put Ivan's Djinn on set, I can use their summon in battle, which would have been fantastic to have. Anyway, down here is where Tret's darker self is. We're in the heart of his power, so that crazy shield will never help us. And we have to fight Tret. good luck. With Ivan dead, it's very, very difficult. Just rail him with your strongest attacks, and at this point, Flint is going to be a great option. He, for some reason, since he's related to a plant, fire is his weakness. So use your strongest fire attacks. Granite, use, because Granite halves the damage that you take with the protective barrier. So always, 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 if you use him, put him back on set. And use him again if you can. Plus it gives Isaac a little more of a boost if you bring him back out of set instead of just summoning him. And this way you can kind of save yourself. You want to heal constantly as well. Tret will occasionally attack with just his basic attack. He will use Thorn every so often. Or I'm sorry, he might use Briar, one of the two. I think it's Thorn. And that's really all he can do. I think he has a spell called Sleep Star. Something like that. Which could put your characters to sleep. So just be very, very, very careful. Oh, he has Quake, which is bad. Don't do what I'm doing and have Isaac solo to health. Like, heal him as constantly as possible. And eventually, Garrett kind of ran out of synergy. So there's a problem because I need his synergy in this fight. But yeah, you kind of want Isaac to be healing. Garrett's got a really good attack. So just have him keep hammering away at the boss. Use your Djinn again when they come off of standby. And that's all I gotta say, really. Oh, he has Quake. I do remember that now. I said it, and I totally forgot that he had it. But just keep using your Djinn, keep laying into him. Eventually, you'll win the fight. Eventually. It's a very, very long, drawn-out battle if you don't have Ivan. So do the best you can, and keep healing. Make sure no one else dies, because it would be a bitch to have to come back this way. If you get a critical hit like he did, heal that character right away so they don't die. And there's not really much else to say. Tret is kind of like a tree spirit, and okay, well, there's Tret down. So Garrett gets a new spell, Volcano, and now we will sit back and let the exposition kind of handle itself. So with that, it is now up to us to find a way to save Tret and save the forest and the people of Camelot. But we will handle that in the next episode. See you guys next time.